What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Daniel Azevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So welcome to Tuesday's episode. So please continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP. I have one being recorded tomorrow and it should go up in about a week and a half. And then Fridays, everything else. So movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from govtech.com. Written by Julie Pattison Gordon. And the title of this one is Federal Authorities Work to Boost Healthcare Cybersecurity, right? So we've seen a lot of this, right? Like we even had the major attack back in February, but the healthcare sector is just under attack constantly, it seems like, right? So the ransomware attacks against the healthcare sector are putting lives at risk. And we talked about this, right? Like we don't know what's going on when these types of things happen. Now with the one in February, it was a little bit different because it was more so the, I don't want to say the billing side, but more of the relying upon, like setting up appointments and things of that nature was the healthcare one, right? Like it wasn't like it went after an actual hospital or a network that was, doing surgeries or whatnot, which has happened, but still same type of principle in that the healthcare sector is a soft target, right? So they mentioned in this article, they talk about it with the healthcare sector, because remember we had the story, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was now, maybe close to a year, about the 16 pillars of infrastructure or whatever it was that the U.S. is looking about protecting. Like this one is in the top 3 of how often one is hit, right? So the medical sector. And again, it is a soft target, right? Because it's not something that's very much thought about. To a certain point, it's on a smaller scale, right? So when you start doing ransomware towards people's health, like they're very quick to want to pay that money and get back to going again. You know what I'm saying? Because again, people's lives are at risk, right? And that's what they talk about in the article here. Is like, hey, this becoming more frequent of a target is going to be something that's going to end up being more deadly. It's pretty much the gist of the article, right? So they just talk about ransomware attackers increasingly striking the sector, again, which we already know because we report on it. It seems like at least once a month, we're out here with some type of healthcare attack or whatnot, right? And again, when it comes to the healthcare sector, emergency services is another one that we've seen happening a little bit more as well. Like these companies are going to be quicker to pay this ransom. They want to get back in business, whether it be that they really care about saving people's lives or whether or not it's for profit and they want the money right out of these hospitals, right? Which is what I'm inclined to believe because healthcare is just crazy expensive now, right? I don't know if you guys ever see the bills. So like for me, I'm TRICARE, right? Like I see the bills that come in and like what I would have to pay if I didn't have insurance. And I'm like, man, thank you for insurance. But I'm like, this medical is just out of control right now, man. Like it is a lot of money to do these things. And I don't know what all goes into it, right? Like I'm not going to assume like the R&D could be more for a scalpel of certain type or something that they're using. I don't know. I'm guessing here, right? It's like, it's kind of like Independence Day, right? $30,000 for a toilet seat, $10,000 for a hammer, like his dad was talking about. Like, I don't understand why the prices are what they are, but they are that much. But yeah, the healthcare sector is a soft target, right? It's kind of like when people talk about, and I'm not trying to get too much into this, but when they talk about guns, people using guns and going into schools, right? It's a soft target. Like, unless you have some type of security there or some type of officer or something, it is an easy target to go after, right? And that's what we're running into. And it's a sad state of affairs because and we talk about this usually when we break, I don't want to say break one of these articles, but when we talk about it, it's very often said that we don't know what the second and third order effects are, whether or not someone lost their lives, but it's almost I hate to say it like this, but it's almost a guarantee that someone inadvertently, at least, right, whether through the second or third order effects, lost their life or had serious damage occurred because of it, right? Like even with the healthcare one in February, it could be that they couldn't schedule someone that needed some type of surgery or something like that, and they waited too long and they could have passed from it, right? Like you can't sit here, you don't write on the death certificate from healthcare ransomware, attack or anything like that. It's natural causes, right? Because the heart gave out, an organ gave out or whatever, but it's because they did not have secure access or ready access to what was needed medically, right? And that's kind of how that goes. And it didn't surprise me to see this, but it kind of brought me down a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Even when we do the articles, we talk about it, but it just brings it to the forefront a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But Daniel, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, this is always like a very, I think, a sensitive topic. Maybe that hopefully it's trickling into the mainstream media a little bit more and that people are more aware about it. I'll be very careful how I talk about this topic because I got some strong opinions, though, on the direction of where the article is going. I will say I do like how the writer refers to hospital and medical staff usually being off limits during wartime. But with cyber criminals, it's kind of like just free game, where I just feel like, it's kind of slimy and scummy that, malicious actors and these things, if they want to go towards like large industries or, the Googles and the Amazons of the world, that's cool. But hospitals, it's kind of like, why not the big pharma? Why not like the big medical insurance companies that are actually, they're the ones that are actually making a lot of money? It's because maybe some of these rural hospitals are easy targets and some of the smaller ones make it easy. Some of the large hospitals, maybe that's like a big money ticket for them as well. It just seems that they don't follow the Robin Hood mentality. They're just kind of like just in there, like smash and go, kind of almost like a drive-by or something like that. With that being said, the article talks about, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the article is talking about how federal authorities want to work towards boosting healthcare cybersecurity. Here I have a big issue though with it, right? Because yes, the thing is that Jon Stewart has a great 1-minute clip and he talks about how the tax in the US works and how medical insurance is a big scam. They're double dipping and how big pharma is as well, right? We pay for goods and services. They go to the US, which in turn is supposed to give us goods and services for the money we pay, but they give it to these companies, which then we have to give money to those companies for those goods and services, right? So now they're looking at trying to come up with, I think that they talk about $1.3 billion talking around to maybe give to come up with some new initiatives where I'm like, no. With my opinion, what we need to do is we need to come up with better legislation and regulation for the hospitals and then some way hook in big pharma and the medical insurance companies to provide the budget for that kind of cybersecurity requirements that these places need. Because the thing is that if they give $1.3 billion now, that means more tax money. Everybody's bottom dollar is going to be suffering. There's no guarantee that the right rural hospitals or places are going to get the support and expertise they're going to need. Now, if you pass legislation or tie in big pharma and medical insurance into this and say that, hey, your profits and your marginability and your sustainability for these services, which the taxpayers' dollars is funding essentially creating these industries, are tied to you being able to support and making sure that there's cybersecurity in each hospital, it'll be figured out within a year. I'm telling you, if you tie that up into them earning money, there'll be some magical solution. But just kind of the same old method of, hey, we're going to give funding to this, throw $1.3 million behind it, and then it'll be a 5-year program or plan. And then at the end of the day, nothing will really improve. And then every week there's going to be another ransomware attack on some hospital throughout the US. I just don't think it's the solution. But maybe this is the pessimistic side of me coming out now instead of the optimistic side. So I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you think?
But hold on, before you go to Ryan. So I'll help you out here, Ryan. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Okay, make sure you guys get in there, do it. We're over 500. We appreciate it. Keep it coming, right? But to address a couple of things you said, right? So when it comes to attacking of big pharma, I can almost guarantee you their cybersecurity is on point. The hundreds of millions of dollars they say they put into R&D and the intellectual property. I don't want to say intellectual property, but the I guess it is intellectual property, right? When you're coming up with different medicines and
best practices or all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I guarantee you they're on point for that because they don't want that getting out. Because the second that gets out, you know what I mean? And they can no longer patent it or do whatever, they're losing so much money. I can guarantee they are on point when it comes to their cybersecurity. Okay. Now, what was the other point? I forgot the other point you said, but Ryan, go ahead, take it, man. It'll come to me.
No, I completely agree with you. I think it's a combination of both. It really is a smash and grab, like Daniel alluded to. It's just easier. They're softer targets. They'll probably flip easier and faster because they want to get back into operation. Because I did notice, I think it was either a week or two ago, the big red bus got shut down in my area because of this, right? So One Blood operates the big red bus that drives around and collects blood donations from people and things of that nature, and they were having issues because of the whatever attack that transpired during that time. Had that second and third order effect. So that's why they're targeted, because they'll flip faster than, like you said, if they attack someone who's much bigger, they probably have better defenses than these, more rules type situations. But I also think just throwing money at it is not the answer, like Daniel alluded to. I do believe there should be better funding, but it shouldn't have to come out of, our taxes and what have you, because they should. So it's hard though, because who's going to pay for it? If we don't pay for it, who's going to pay for it? Again, all the defenses, it's kind of like when there's rioting and things of that nature, the police force goes to the higher paying areas first, right? They don't start where the rioters are starting in the more rural or the more urban areas. They start their defenses way back in the castle and work their way out towards the issue. Same thing here, right? They're protecting their IP. They're protecting the resources of the big corporations, and then it slowly moves its way out into the mom and pop and hospitals and things of that nature, the more rural ones. So if Congress doesn't fund it, AKA us, who's going to pay for it? And will that money just be used improperly anyway? So it's very difficult.
Who's the big insurance companies? Who's the big health insurance companies? Like Blue Cross Blue Shield, or who are the big insurance companies? Have them pay for it. We're paying already taxes into health insurance to the government that then gets given to these companies, and then we still pay on top of that, and we don't even get the 100% benefits of the things we need. We still need to pay deductibles, and we still don't even have 100% health care coverage, right?
Right.
So these companies are getting banked. They got the money. You marry up states to hospitals to these big insurance companies, and you say that if they can't provide the services, then they don't get X, Y, and Z from the government. Trust me, they'll get the support one way or the other.
Yeah, but your premium will go up by a few bucks. So I'm TRICARE too. So I'm just like Shannon. I'm in a bubble. I get to escape that nonsense out there where people are paying $800 for themselves, thousands of dollars for them and their family. It's extremely cheap for retirees if you stay in the TRICARE system. A little bit slower, not gonna lie, but for the bang for your buck, it's definitely worth it. So I can complain from my my ivory castle over here, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I'm not paying into it. But people were paying $850 for themselves for individual insurance. It's going to be $855, or it's going to be, you know what I mean? They're going to pass the buck to you because they're going to pad their bottom line. They're going to be like, okay, here's our margins. The government's asking us to spend X, Y, and Z. Guess who's paying for it? You.
So you made me remember what it was. Lobbyists, to your point, Daniel, and why Big Pharma is not going to be able to. They're not going to take on that burden, right? The lobbyists they have that they're spending so much money on, right? They're paying these guys and gals $400,000-$500,000 a year to go to these sometimes former colleagues, right? Because they'll hire somebody that was already in Congress that has the connections, right? And be like, hey, go speak this up for us, right? So these lobbyists are what are going up there, and they're making it even harder. And I shouldn't say it like this. Yes, they're making it harder, but it does come down to the fact that these congressmen and women are not doing their job. They're not looking out for the American people like they say they are, right? And that's why it's going to happen. And to the point you were talking about with the Jon Stewart thing, yes, the medical stuff is a racket, right? Because you'll talk to people that'll be like, oh, if we go to socialized medicine and we do this, that, and the third, how much more expensive will it be? Well, it's like, okay, it's not on top of what you're already paying, right? You're going to take out that middleman, that's the insurance companies there, that is really where a lot of your money is going to. That part is going to come out of it if you go this way. It's going to be from point A to point B. You don't have to go through B and C to get to D, right? B and C are cut out. So it's just point A to point B, or point D in this instance. So yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get to that point, because you have to rely on honest politicians, and we know that ain't a thing.
He said, that ain't a thing. That's not gonna happen, right?
Nah.
So I think the buck will just be passed to us regardless. So I don't believe there's any way of necessarily having it fixed through kind-heartedness. It's gonna have to be through dollars. You have to make it profitable for people to want to do something, or you have to make it to where it's hurting their bottom line. And in this case, I think they'll just pass it to us anyway. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Well, that's one way to bring down an episode. So check out the rest of the podcast throughout the week. I swear we're less doom and gloom, but this one is pretty disheartening article. I'm glad money is going to it. I'm just not happy about where the money's coming from, I guess you should say. But we do need to protect hospitals, because they're kind of like the endpoints, right? For they definitely need better protection. They need to get off of Windows 95, and all the rest. Just throw money at it for the time being, and see how it shakes out. But hit us up. Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursdays Ask a CISSP. I got one in the scheduled. It's going to be really good with Shauna Weatherly. So you can learn a lot about government contracting and things of that nature. It's going to be a really interesting discussion. And then, or government contracting, contracts, acquisitions. Like, she has 35 years of knowledge. So it's going to be a really, really good conversation. And then Friday's everything else. So movies, books, games, all that good stuff. And our take on Deadpool and Wolverine. So definitely check that one out. Hit up all the websites that go by our name: The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on all the social media platforms. And you, Daniel, where can they find you?
On LinkedIn by my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.